Just think about it for a moment. If you're between 65 and 80 years old, and you're still able to do a few simple things that most people take for granted, then you're not just living. You are truly exceptional. Too many people think that growing old means becoming irrelevant, that aging is just about aches, medications, and loneliness, but that's not the whole story. If you can still laugh, still move, still give, and still dream, you've done something powerful. You've lived a life that didn't break you. You've endured storms that others can't even imagine. And now, whether or not anyone says it out loud, you deserve to be celebrated. In this video, we'll walk through 7 powerful things that, if you can still do them, make you a truly rare and special human being. Not because they're flashy, but because they're signs of quiet strength, dignity, and deep resilience. This isn't just a checklist, it's a mirror to help you see how far you've come. So if you've ever wondered whether your life still matters, or whether anyone sees how much strength it takes to keep going day after day, then please stay with us till the end, because this, right here, right now, might be the moment where you finally realize, I didn't just survive aging, I'm doing something extraordinary. Let's begin. Thing 1. If you can still walk without support. It may sound simple, but if you can still get up from a chair, walk across a room, or take a stroll outside without a cane, walker, or someone holding your arm, that is not ordinary. That is a quiet miracle. Walking is something many of us never think about until we start losing it. But if your legs still carry you, even slowly, they're carrying decades of stories, strength, and survival. Think about everything your body has endured. Childhood falls, accidents, work stress, long days on your feet, illnesses, aging joints, and yet here you are, still moving. It's not just about physical health, it's about independence. The ability to walk means you can still do things on your own. You can still go to the kitchen when you're hungry. You can visit a friend. You can step outside and feel the sunshine on your face. That freedom to move where you want, when you want, is priceless. And if you still have it, be proud. Not everyone does. You may not run marathons. You may walk slow and steady. But that walk is a victory. Every step you take is a quiet act of strength. Take a moment to appreciate that gift. Your body has stayed loyal to you for all these years, and it still shows up for you. That's not luck, that's strength, that's resilience. Thing 2, if you can still remember the people you love. In a world that moves faster every day, memory is one of the most precious things we have. And if you, right now, can still close your eyes and remember the laughter of your children, the voice of a sibling, the hands of someone you once held, then you are carrying something sacred inside you. Memory isn't just about facts or names. It's about love. It's about holding on to the pieces of your life that mattered most, the birthdays, the conversations, the warm meals, the music that made your heart beat a little faster. As we age, the world sometimes starts to forget us, but the beauty is, if your memory still holds strong, you haven't forgotten the world. You remember what it felt like to fall in love. You remember how hard you worked for your family. You remember the small wins no one clapped for, but that changed your life. And that memory, that emotional richness, that's not just personal history, it's wisdom. If your mind still walks through time with clarity and affection, if you can still recall who you are, where you've been, and the people who've shaped your soul, then you are carrying treasures that no money can ever buy, even if you forget a few things here and there, as we all do. If your heart still remembers love, then your mind is still beautifully alive. So hold that close. Because you, dear viewer, are not fading. You are glowing with the light of all the lives you've touched. Thing 3. If you can still laugh, even after everything. If you're over 65 and can still laugh, really laugh, after everything life has thrown at you, then you are not just surviving, you are thriving. Think about it. You've been through heartbreak, health scares, financial stress, loss, loneliness, uncertainty. And yet somewhere deep inside you, the ability to smile, to laugh, is still alive. That's not just a good mood, that's emotional strength. Because laughter in old age is different. It doesn't come from silly jokes or funny cartoons. It comes from wisdom, from knowing that life is messy, unpredictable, and sometimes unfair, but still choosing to find the light in it. You've seen enough to know how precious joy really is. And when you laugh, it's not just a reaction, it's a decision to hold on to hope, a decision to not let the weight of life bury your spirit, a decision to say, I've lived through storms, and I still choose sunshine. And maybe your laugh has changed. Maybe it's softer now, maybe it hides a few tears, but it's still real. And it still heals. So if you can still laugh with your grandkids, if you can still find humor in your old memories, if you can still chuckle at yourself when you forget where you left your glasses, then you, my friend, are a light in this world. Because in a time where so many people grow bitter with age, you chose to grow kinder. And that's what makes you exceptional. Thing 4, if you can still take care of yourself every day, if you wake up in the morning and you're able to dress yourself, brush your hair, prepare your own tea, then please take a moment to recognize how incredible that truly is. Most people don't think twice about the simple routines of daily life until they can't do them anymore. But if you're between 65 and 80 and still managing your personal care, even in small ways, you are more capable than most people realize. It's not just about hygiene or routine. It's about independence. It's about dignity. Being able to care for yourself, no matter how slowly, means you're still living on your terms. You're still showing up for yourself every day, even when it's hard. Maybe your hands shake a little now. Maybe buttons are tricky, or your knees ache when you bend. But if you're still doing it, brushing your teeth, putting on socks, choosing what you wear, then that is strength. True strength isn't loud. It's quiet. It's found in the morning when no one's watching. It's in those moments when you look in the mirror and say, let's go one more day. Some people, your age, are completely dependent on others for even the smallest things, and there is no shame in that. But if you still have the ability to care for your own body and space, that's a kind of freedom you should never take for granted. You've earned the right to slow down. But the fact that you still show up for yourself every single day, that's what makes you remarkable. Thing 5. If you can still feel deep gratitude for life. At this age, after everything you've been through, if your heart can still whisper the words thank you, then you are someone truly rare. Because, let's be honest, life hasn't been easy. You've seen people walk away. You've lost loved ones. You've carried burdens that no one else even noticed. You've endured long nights, silent tears, and quiet heartbreaks. And yet, somewhere inside you, there's still a soft place that sees the beauty in a sunrise. That feels thankful for warm tea, a soft blanket, a phone call from an old friend. That smiles at the sound of birds or the way sunlight hits the floor in the morning. Gratitude in youth is easy, but gratitude in old age? After pain, after loss, after disappointment, that's not easy. That's grace. If you can still find joy in small things, if your heart still pauses to say, I'm lucky to be here, then you are walking with wisdom. Because you've realized something most people never do. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. And even the simplest moments can hold deep meaning. So if you've ever looked out the window and felt at peace, if you've ever thanked life, not for what it gave you, but for what it taught you, then please know you are a rare soul. The world needs more people like you. People who see the good even after seeing the worst. People who choose appreciation over regret. That kind of heart doesn't fade with age. it shines brighter. Thing 6. If you can still give love, even when you don't always receive it back, if you're 65 to 80 and your heart still has the capacity to give love, to care, to listen, to support others, even when that love isn't always returned, then you are someone with a truly extraordinary soul, because the older we get, the more we start to notice. Not everyone calls as often, not everyone visits. Sometimes the people you gave your whole life to, they're too busy, too far, or simply don't see what you still have to offer, and yet you continue to love. You still check in on others. You still pray for your family. You still think of people and wish them well, even if they've forgotten you. That, dear soul, is not weakness. That is pure strength. Because love in old age is no longer about romance or recognition. It's about choosing kindness, choosing connection, even when no one is clapping for you. If you can still smile at a neighbor, if you can still comfort someone younger, if you can still offer advice, even when no one asks for it, but you know they need it, then your heart is still open. And that is rare. The world often tells older people to step aside, but love doesn't retire. Compassion doesn't have an expiration date, so if you're still showing up with kindness, if you're still pouring out love when your own cup sometimes feels empty, then please hear this. You are doing something divine. You are keeping the human spirit alive. Thing 7. If you still wake up every day and keep going, no matter what, if you're 65 to 80 years old and you still wake up each morning, despite the pain in your joints, despite the silence in your home, despite the memories that make your chest ache, and you still get out of bed and face the day, you are nothing short of heroic, because no one really talks about how heavy life can feel at this stage, when friends begin to leave this world, when the body doesn't cooperate like it used to, when time starts to feel like a quiet thief, taking more than it gives, and yet, here you are, still rising, still showing up. Maybe no one sees how hard it is some mornings, how you sit on the edge of the bed and just take a breath before standing, how you walk past old photos and feel the sting of love that's no longer here, how you sometimes talk to yourself because it's been a while since anyone else did, but still, you go on. You water the plants, you feed the cat, you stretch your legs, you make the tea, you continue. And that quiet, steady endurance is not ordinary. It's the sign of a life that refused to give up. You don't need a medal, you don't need a parade, but you do deserve to be told this. You are deeply, profoundly exceptional. You have lived through decades of change, challenge, joy, loss, and love, and you are still standing. If no one has told you lately, let this be that moment. You are doing better than you think. You matter more than you know, and the simple act of waking up and continuing on is proof that your spirit is stronger than most. Final reflection. You've just walked through 7 quiet victories, 7 simple things that, on the surface, may not seem extraordinary to the world, but they are. Because behind each one of those things is a story, your story, a story of surviving illness, heartbreak, disappointment, loneliness, and still getting back up, still walking, still remembering, still loving, still laughing, still giving, still showing up. Maybe no one has ever truly stopped to recognize that. Maybe you've lived a life of quiet sacrifice, and no one said, "Thank you." Maybe your kids are too busy, your friends have moved on, your body has slowed down, and sometimes you wonder, do I still matter? Let me say this clearly, and please hear it with your whole heart. Yes, you matter because you're still here, because your presence still carries wisdom, because the way you've lived, with courage, with heart, with patience, has left fingerprints on more lives than you realize. You matter because you've made it through things others couldn't even imagine. And you didn't give up. You kept going even when no one was watching. That's not just admirable, that's rare, that's powerful, that's exceptional. So if you've ever doubted your worth, if you've ever felt invisible in a world that worships youth, let this be your reminder. You are seen, you are valued, and you are loved, not for what you do, but for who you are. A gentle message to you. If this video touched your heart, if you saw even one of these 7 signs in yourself, then take a second right now and breathe. Place your hand on your chest and feel the life still beating in you. That's strength, that's purpose, that's beauty. And if you can, leave a comment below, even just one word that describes how you feel right now. Share this with someone you care about. You never know who needs to hear this. And if you want more content that honors your journey, please like and subscribe. We're here to walk this path with you, every step of the way. Thank you for living, for enduring, for still being you. You are a light. Don't let anyone, not even time, dim that light.